How's it going? How's it going? Tim's Chicken, good to see you. How are you? Yes, I'm sorry I'm late. Oh my gosh. But things happen. It's it's been a little bit longer than usual. Yeah, I forgot the things and I had updates to do and then yep. So we're gonna get right into it. Boom. And boom, except that's not correct. We need ourselves la da da da. Boom. Uh, gonna guess Indianapolis area. Hello, hello. Yes, I suppose. I suppose. Wait, wait. There's like this. Hang on. Is that over here? Are we going here? Okay. Okay, we'll do it. Let me find. Where are we looking for? Oh, I'll make sure that things are working. Sorry. Salutations, you did not get as well. That gives me the giggles. I love that. Yes, Nugget as well, and we both hope you are well as well. Hello, hello. That. Sorry, I'm sure that was charming. There. Hello, hello. How does air traffic control work in the game? So I guess I'm not sure how connected it is to the. I don't know all the technical stuff, but it's through VATSIM. Is how it's complicated. Thank you. It's not just me. I was like, oh god, a question I can't answer. Yeah, magical technical stuff. It doesn't. AIATC and FS is the worst. Also an excellent answer. Yes, VATSIM all of the way. I've heard good things about Pilot Edge as well, but we do ourselves the VATSIM. So, we shall look up kind and then look in the general area, but not anywhere with a tower because scary. Wait, where is... Okay, so I look up, oops, that's our flight plan eventually. Wait, so, okay. Ah, wrong button. Where it actually is kind? I thought kind was... Because kind is very, very close to the edge here. And we don't want to be too close to the edge because we don't want to have to switch. I mean, or we do want to switch, so then we wouldn't have it. No, no, no. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. Fletch. Okay, I'll look. These are both GPS, so we could start. We could start there. I'm sorry. I'm a child. Ooh. No, it's a Delta. I don't like it. This is a VOR though. Ooh, that could be interesting. We could go like boom and then like boom. Oh, but they're probably not at all close to one another. So we might have to, ooh, how about like right here? If we start here and then go to VOR and then go to VOR here. All right, let's see. 012. Is that seriously? Hang on. Kilo 012? What is it? Hang on. No, what happened? Oh no, I have lost it. India? Is that in India? It's probably in India, isn't it? There it is. Yay. The what? Oh. To biannual flight review. Acronyms. For the love of look at this. 48.9. Sky King. We're doing Sky King, I think. 3, India 3. Okay, I do want to look at the hello, sorry. Well, you remember people can play as ATC. Yes. Are you talking about VATSIM? Because that's what we will. That's what we're looking at right here. This is this is VATSIM, and this is where these shaded areas are where people are controlling. So we connect to the VATSIM client, and then that, again, technically stuff happens, and they can see where people are in the game who are on VATSIM, and you're still flying within Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, if that makes sense and answers your question, I hope. Yes, people can volunteer to learn and become virtual ATC person. Yes. Hello. Just checking in. Sounds good. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Always good to see you. Oh God, here's a complicated question. How do you determine the equipment of an aircraft? Okay. Isn't there like there's the ICAO code or the ICAO code. But then there's also the other code. The one things I know is slant golf. G is GPS. slant alpha A is like strictly VOR. And then I think U is something, but I don't know. I don't get that part. You Google. That I would like the answer though. FAA people struggling with that kid. You were there once. Oh no. Why? Can you give us the tips now then? Because yeah, I just learn whatever it is for my aircraft and then just go with that. Oops. Yeah, we'll get to that flight plan. Yes, this is the VATSIM flight plan area too. So yay, behind the scenes. Okay, so this is what we're. So we could go there and then. But that's. I don't want to do that. What if? Ooh, I like that. 50.6. For some reason, it feels petty, and I like that. Yes. Sorry. The VOR. Hoosier. Like Hoosier. Hoosier? Sorry. It's late already. I'm sorry. Okay, so I like this. This looks good. Yes, potentially, maybe. All right. First, gosh darn it. Let's check our approach. Make sure it's something that we want to do and can do. VOR. Oh, but why? Always needed we could technically just do a straight in. We could just do a straight in. I think we will. Yes? Yes? Are we all concurred? Doing a straight in? I think that's just easiest for everybody. Oh, hello. I can't even, what's the word? Scold you for that anymore. How are you? It's good to see you. But yes. Am CFI, but this is still not instruction because we are doing instrument stuff now, and that requires a whole new certificate rating on the certificate. Technicalities. You concur. Going in sideways can be less than ideal. Well, but on the approach, you could be going sideways, and then you just whoosh, kick it parallel for that crosswind correction. But yes, going in sideways definitely. Wait, with the aircraft, we're gonna move on from that. I heard it as I said it. Yes, that. So takeoff minimums. There's a VOR alpha for here. I like though, and I like the straight in idea, so never mind. All right, takeoff minimums. I don't know where we're going. Golf Papa Charlie. Golf Papa Charlie. Reached end of page. Continued from top. Where is it? There it is. Greencastle. It's Indiana, right? Yes. Takeoff obstacle notes. Takeoff obstacles. Excellent. No procedures. Yay. Well, you get to learn instrument from it. No. That is not how this works. Gosh darn it. I did walk right into that one, didn't I? Gosh darn it. No, I'm working on my double I. I'm working on it. Kind of. Oh, I guess. I'm trying to think. I guess that is one of the stories. I took my written test. So that's over with. And then now I'm working kind of getting to the making the making the lesson plans things. Haven't quite gotten to it. Still trying to get used to the general instruction sort of things. But yes, going to be getting there next. So all of this is still just the basic instrument lack of knowledge. So yes, you heard. Yes, that's how it works. Yes. So we did our takeoff minimums, and now we got our Aroka. We have our Aroka there. So we'll go with that. Although, so again, so my whole thing is I used to, but I'm not sure if this is like a proper way of doing it. Is like I'd look at the Aroka, right? And that's like an obstacle clearance thing. But since we're doing an off route thing, we don't know what the altitude is for signal from the VOR. So looking then at like this one and this one, these minimum en route altitudes, which give the lowest altitude for obstacle clearance as well as navigation. I want to say equipment, but I feel like that's the wrong word. Between the navigational aids. Like, yeah, that's like minimum for that as well. So, ooh. Well, that's fun. Radial 5.3 and 2.7 are unusable. Why? Does that include over here? I guess we'll find out. We'll have honorary GPS with us as well. Just don't tell the F. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, don't. But it's a sim. It's a sim. So yeah, that's something to think about and look at. What? I feel like maybe we've talked about this at one point, like why, but I don't remember what the answer was. All right, that's fine. So we're just gonna go with 3-2, and we're going this-ish way, which is odds. So 5,000, 5,000. That sounds good. That sounds good. So we'll be flying at 5,000. And then our next thing to do and figure out is da 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 da. So Indy Center is offline. This is a Georgia flight. We're in Indiana. See, I feel like if we should we switch and try and get here? I feel like they're gonna go offline anyway. I know. I'm sorry. I promise I'm not trying to be so late that everybody's offline. But show of hands. Do we switch to Georgia or continue our flight plan as it is? Challenge myself flying another country, but I don't know procedures. I don't know procedures, and I don't have maps on my ForeFlight, I assume. And yep. And it's already late. So the only challenge we'll be doing for now is if you guys want me to try switching to Georgia to see if we can catch them. Otherwise, we'll just do it as per usual. And I will try. I will try. I am trying to be earlier in the future. And I do need to be earlier in the future so I can get, again, better sleep schedule even on these nights. So, yeah. But yeah. So, anyway. So we'll continue doing this unless there is an outcry for Georgia. VOR runway 13. Biannual flight review. 18 April to 16 May. As always, if I want to do something, I find ways. If I don't want to do something, I find ways. Why you gotta attack me with these good quotes that are relevant to the situation and perfectly describe it? Okay. Hi, by the way. How's it going? I know. Okay, again. I am a theatrical person, so I'm melodramatic. So yes, attack was very hyperbolic. Intentionally hyperbolic. I apologize if it came off not like that. But yes, I do. I know. It is very relevant and helpful. Cumulogranite time to avoid what? Should I understand what that means? It sounds like rocky clouds. Did I miss something? Rock in a cloud. But why? Why are the rocks in the clouds? Oh. I do. Okay. I feel like they're going to go offline too. So we're just going to if they don't go offline by the time that we actually get to the what's it? To the point where we would be able to call them and stuff, then I will be shamed, and next time we will I will take a different approach. How's that sound? You'd love to stay and hang out, but you have to be awake in 5.5 hours. No, that's okay. Again, we were just talking about how I'm supposed to be starting earlier so that I can get proper sleep too. So hopefully in the future I'll take the helpful advice and actually do that. So then you can also stick around. But happy to see you. I hope things are well, and I hope you sleep well and are able to get up and be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with whatever you got going on. So, yeah. My situation would not do the first steps on the stream, take out the double pressure. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, God. The country, different country. Yeah. Nope, not yet. Because the clouds are low enough to hide. Hide the mini mountains. Ooh. Oh, am I not looking at? Am I in a? See. It says VFR. That's frightening. I like that though. Cumulogranite. You're usually up all night yourself. You just have an early work day. Fair, not typical for you, but it happens. Okay, fair. Well, darn it. And we are on a different day as well. So I apologize for that too. But yeah, I hope work goes well. And hopefully next time, again, it just depends on when I'm able to get lessons in, for my students. So yeah. And we were able to get lessons in earlier in the week. So that's why I couldn't do late nights then. So today worked out. Are we supposed to be watching where we're going? We're IFR. We don't have to watch where we're going. But beforehand, we have to plan where we're going so we don't have to watch where we're going. That's not a badumch, but yeah, it is now. Hello. How's it going? Good to see you. No point in a foreign country, none are on VATSIM, unless you want to try Kathmandu, rest or towers, which is not much controlling. Right, fair. And I would be terrified. I'm already terrified of VATSIM. Not terrified, again, hyperbolic, melodramatic. But yes, I would be even more nervous about doing something wrong. So we're gonna quick go over this so that we can start up the sim and everything. VOR runway 13, BFR, 18 April, 16 May. Bedford, Indiana, Vortac, Oh, Narnia reference. 110.2, approach course 159, runway length 4,500, touchdown zone elevation 721, airport elevation 727, DME is required. Check. Procedure not authorized at night. We will make sure that is a check. Runway 13 helicopter, irrelevant. When local altimeter setting, irrelevant. Irrelevant. Missed approach, climbing left turn to 2,500 on Vortac. Radial 1592 Pearl 140 ME and hold. Continue climb and hold to 2,500. We would get our frequencies on VATSIM, but it's gonna be Unicom 122.8. We're gonna go straight in. Yeah, we're gonna go straight in because we're so late already. So this might be, if we can get into this into the sim at like pretty quickly here. We're it's gonna be somewhat of a shorter stream, and I think I need to like start doing that, being a more efficient stream. But as always, that doesn't tend to happen the way that I anticipated happening, which is fine. So either, yes, we'll be working on getting it earlier as well as potentially shortening it. We'll see if that actually works. I'm just trying to, hello. Mustafa, thank you for the going. How's it going? How was your stream? What were you doing? Oh, welcome. Oh gosh, hang on. I missed some things. Hang on. So these are our goggles. What are our goggles? Are you talking about our foggles? I have my foggles. They don't work very well with the sim. Can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. But that would, at some point, that would be fun. Police showed up at your house claiming your dog chased a kid on a bike. He can't even ride a bike. I love that one. Nice intro. Don't get caught in the spokes. Oh no. Oh, okay. Good night. Yes, hope to see you again soon, and I will. I'll let you know. Yes, in the Discord, what day next week. Again, as always, we'll aim for the usual Tuesday, but that hasn't been working. We want the Holdapus. We want the Holdapus. But really? Right now? Are you sure? Thank you for the follow, 80. Thanks for being here. I hope you're well. Oh gosh, incoming Perryllel. Okay. Do I need to find Perryllel the Holdapus? I need to put him on my. Hang on. Well, actually, I will. Hang on. I will work it in naturally. I'll work it in naturally. Watch me work. Moose Rain, yes, hello. Yes, shout out Mustafa. Everybody check out Mustafa if you haven't somehow. Chicken and duck. Yes, we will get to the duck. Been spreading the word of Perryllel the Holdapus far and wide. Oh no. I am like evilly pleased. I love it. Holdapus is life, absolutely. Illinois State Aviation. That sounds very professional, and now I'm nervous. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Well, all right. So we will come to the Perryllel the Holdapus. Like I said, we're going to naturally come to it. Here we go. So we are briefing our VOR approach. Missed approach, climbing left turn to 2500 on Vortac, radial 159 to Pearl 14 DME and hold. Continue climb and hold to 2500. We're going to be doing a straight in, so we're coming do here. If we were to go missed, we would go like this and go back to our hold and hold like so. Isn't that interesting? Before we get to that, we go to hello, staying above 2500. Staying above 2500 by Pearl. That is our final approach fix. And then we can start descending, staying above 1380 at Wabla. Sorry. Which is 17.2 DME. And then our straight in 1-3, I guess we'll actually have to look at that, is 1301. And I guess it's the same for 1301 there. So let us look. What are our winds doing? 80, so 1-3 should be good. Excellent. All right. Now I have to go like that. You thought you would fly VFR in the Philippines. Turns out it became IFR 5 miles from landing. Also very hilly terrain. Oh no. So how does this story end? I hope well. All right. Oh, shoot. I can't do that. Oops. Yes, that. I do. I have to save him back onto my computer so that I don't have to look for him every time he is requested. The scroll struggle is real. Almost there. I can feel it. Seems like a little bit of a strange thing to say. Yeah. There he is. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Oops. Ah, come. Sorry. There. Okay. All right. So, I will. What we're gonna do is I am going to get out ye old paint. Boop. We are going to figure out how we would enter our hold, and then we will discuss. Again, this is not instruction. This is getting to the getting to the nightmare is what it's doing. So I do need the web. I need the web. Yes. And then I need there. You think you've mentioned him in 3 other streams? Oh god. Oh my gosh. I do. I should at least adjust the first part of it, the explanatory first part of it, because it's not that good of an explanation, and I know that now because I've gone through the actual instructor sort of training. So I would like to kind of do it over again with a little bit better knowledge, at least, even if he stays in his nice nightmarish form, if that makes sense. So hello, how is it going? I hope you're well. Good to see you. So you totally saw YouTube with a guy with a giant Perry platypus stuffed animal behind him, and all you could think of was, there he is, Perryllel the Holdapus, especially because you could hold him. Sorry. I love that. And it was giant. That pleases me. You have a bad feeling once of them. What if it wasn't actually a flight? I mean, hey, we cannot keep it contained. We need to let it fly freely, even if it can't actually fly. A Holdapus in mode, or at least a platypus. I'd have to do, what's it called, wouldn't I? Oh, sorry, you're still looking at that. I would have to do the affiliate thing, wouldn't I? I'll consider it. Okay, so here. We have our hold here. So we're going to draw it. I'm just going to talk through how, hang on. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, that's kind of tricky, actually. That's kind of a little nasty one. All right, so this is how it is. Okay, sorry. It threw me off a little bit. You need to not see that part for a second. You need to see this part. All right. So here is our dryer lint, our fix. Oh god. Oh gosh. There's our hold. Boom. Noom. This is our outbound leg. So we're flying inbound like so, which means this is a left turn hold. So 339 minus 2 plus 2 to this equals our, hang on. Equals our this line, noom, like so. So that is 159 degrees. That's a degree symbol. It's too large to be a degree symbol. There. 159 degrees. So here's his little hat. Well, sorry, actually, we're not getting there. We're not getting there yet. All right. So then we make a 7. And we subtract, or sorry, we add, in this instance, 70 degrees to this to get this line here. So that's 289 degrees. And then we go like so. Parallel that. This one is also a -2 plus 2. Or we just subtract 180 because that's easier. So 109 degrees. 109 degrees. So if we are entering our hold, teardrop, parallel, direct. So what does that mean? That means since we are boop, boop, and boop. If we can get over to this and we land on this line, that's one thing, but it looks like we're going to be entering our hold somewhere on the easterly side of this line, which for that means we are likely going to boop, 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 enter like so, which means we're going to enter our hold using a parallel entry. So that's going to boop, boop, boop us here. And then we do a turn, right? Yeah, we turn and enter the hold like so. And that's how we're going to be doing our missed approach. All right. So where Perryllel comes, a parallel entry. Yes, exactly. So I'll quick it back to chat. Sorry. And then we'll do the parallel thing. Oh God, am I really soft tonight? I'm sorry. It might be because of where. If anyone has any suggestions for like not cheap but affordable mics that potentially work better, Chicken will not be leaving, but he won't have to have a barrette on his comb anymore. So it might be my mic, it might be my settings. I've tried to mess with my settings, but I don't know. So I'm sorry. All right, going back. You descend and land and since there's no ATC on. All right, that's absolutely fair. Well, good. I'm glad you actually landed though. And then yes, I am. I'm sorry about the volume. I'll try to like actually speak into the mic a little bit better. You just thought you were going to have, gosh darn it. I'm sorry. It is. It's probably nah. Oh gosh, the -2 plus 2. Okay. So, quick side note for that. If you're trying to find reciprocals, you can use your -2 plus 2. So for this one, it's you take whatever the number is, and well, that one's not a good example. Sorry, this one's a good example. So 339. Do you just know off the top of your head what the reciprocal of that is? I don't. So what you do is you take the first digit -2, and then the second digit +2, and that's how you get your 159, that reciprocal. If you cannot subtract 2 from the first digit, you +2 here and -2 here to the second digit. So you do the opposite, and that gives you your other one. So +2 here is a 3, -2 to the 5 is a 3, and then the 9 is just what it is. So then for this one, you can just easily subtract 180, so you just get the 109, if that makes sense. So yes, that thing. So, and this is the other thing that I need to, I guess, explain a little bit better is these are recommended entries. Like, so if you were to find, you can Google recommended hold entries and it'll give you this setup. So in order to remember it for myself, this is the way that I figured out how to do it. So it's, yeah. So this is, yeah. It's like a set thing, and then this is just how to remember it. So the 70 degrees is just, that's the set thing, is from the inbound radial, the reciprocal of that, plus or minus 70 degrees, depending on how the hold is placed. Because, so with this fix, any of these radials are like the compass, right? You got your northerly radial. This 109 is probably real. Yeah, this is not at all to scale, because 289 should definitely be way over here. 289 should be over here, and 109 should be down here. I apologize for that. That's my own inability to. Yep. So yes, not to scale. But yes. So that's how I remember it, is that it's 70 degrees standard. And it looks like a 7. So yeah, that thing. And it's off screen. Oh God, what's off screen? Oh shoot. Haha. It's a little small. Can I make it like not so small? It's not letting me make it not so small. I'm sorry. There. Yay. Need one of them fancy pencils that let me draw on the screen. I wouldn't be able to reach, but that is an excellent idea. I will have to think about that. You see where I'm going with the twos thing? Yes, that's just like a memory thing. Easy way, yes, easy way to find the reciprocal, add or subtract 2 to the first digit depending on the existing number, then do the opposite to the next digit. Exactly. Silly you doing regular math, which is also very valid, but sometimes, like when you're flying, math is hard, even basic math. What if you come in exactly on one of the dividing lines? Good question. So typically, direct, let me think. Direct I think it goes direct, teardrop, parallel. Again, for recommended. This isn't a regulatory thing. I want to say don't quote me on that. I think I'm correct, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm like 53% sure about that. But like direct, if you go direct, then you're going directly into the hold and you don't have to do any fancy turning. This is just like the angle that you're coming in. What's the best way to enter the hold sort of thing? What's the easiest, the safest way, kind of. So direct is best because it's direct. And then teardrop, if you were to come on this 159, like we were talking about, or we mentioned slightly on here. So if when we come here and we turn, if we're able to get onto this radial before we get to the fix, that would be, like you asked, right between our teardrop and our parallel. And teardrop is placed higher than parallel. So teardrop is yeah, do the teardrop over the parallel is what's recommended. So instead of the parallel being you go up the radial and then turn and go directly to the fix, teardrop is going basically the opposite. You turn like 30 degrees from this radial here. So that would be a 009 heading here, and then intercepting this radial and then coming in on this inbound radial and continuing in the hold, if that makes sense. So it goes direct. If it's between the direct and teardrop, go direct. If it's between the teardrop parallel, go teardrop. If it's between the direct and parallel, go direct, I think. Oh God. I feel like I should know that, but I'm not sure if I do. Elgato Wave 3. I will write it down. Is it I am a lowly CFI and still have to pay off my CFI exam. Elgato Wave 3. I will put that down. Thank you. Oh no, I can't see chat. It logged me out. Hang on. What happened? Oh no. All right, hang on. I don't know what happened. Gosh darn it. I hope that this doesn't do anything weird. I, for some reason, have to log back into my chat. Oh, and now I have to find the buses. I don't want to find the buses. I am streaming. Why did you log me out? Okay, hang on. Okay, you tried Googling Holdapus but was disappointed. Well, apparently he hasn't spread quite far enough yet to become. See, I want to say viral because I wanted to, what's the word? Exude that sickness. But then it just sounds like a social media thing. Which need to remember the disclaimers there. Yes, again, this is not instruction. This is how I think about things, and this is like kind of me practicing. This is study buddy session. That's all this is. Maybe Aviation Chicken could get the pen and do the drawing. Ooh, that would be really cute, wouldn't it? He could have and then he could have like a little bow tie and stuff, and maybe little suspenders. Okay, sorry. That would be so cute. If you were flying to a 1 degree tolerance, you'd be impressed. Right, and that's the thing. That's why it's non-regulatory. It's just recommended. It's based again on like the angle, so you're not doing incredibly sharp turns in order to get into that hold. So nobody's watching and nobody's judging. So yeah, it is a very reasonable mic. Okay, sounds good. I will. Affordable. The word is affordable. Oh God, what did I say? Especially compared to some other mics. Okay, sounds fair. And then I think we're good. Okay, all right. You're all back. I'm back. Here we go. Kind of looks like an octopus. Well, oh God, it's not an octopus, but a holdapus. But it does kind of look like an octopus. It is also upside down. All right, so now that we've gone over that, we will go into, this is, now, hang on. Shoot. I have to, I have to swap this quick. Oh God. There. All right. There and there and there. All right. The moment you all are waiting for, kind of, almost. So, Perryllel the Holdapus, an intro. I'm gonna go like that. So all right. So again, this is something that again I developed for myself for the written test. There are a lot of questions on the instrument written test and other instrument tests that have to do with entering the hold based on instructions ATC gives. So say ATC gives hold south over the OMN VOR on the 181 radial, make left turns. So things you're going to be thinking about are south, OMN, which direction you're holding, south, what the fix is, OMN VOR, what radial you're holding on, your inbound radial, 181 degrees, and what turns you're making. So using all those pieces, our fix here, OMN, our inbound radial, which is 181, what direction we're holding. So south, we're going to be flying in this direction on the outbound radial. So south, outbound radial, this direction, south. And then we need to decide left or right turns. So this would be a left turn hold. This would be a right turn hold. We were given left turns, so we do this one. So then we move on to here. So we take our inbound radial and find our reciprocal, which is 001. And then like we talked about, add 70 degrees or subtract depending on the positioning. So to get our 71. So that creates a beak. So this one, it needs to be in the direction, like a forward direction. So this is his body and his eye. This is the top of his beak. And then the next part of his beak has to be protruding from his face. So adding 70 degrees to get that part there. That is our teardrop entry section where his tongue goes, because it's his beak, right? All right. So then he's also got this little hat because of the left turns, the right turns, his little hat like right there. And then what we do with here is we take the reciprocal of his beak and we add a flipper, 251. And this section is our parallel. And we're titling him Perryllel the Holdapus. So that's why that goes there. And then we give him a little tail because this is the direct section for entry. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. Ba-da-bum! So, with my limited artistry, particularly when it comes to paint, I don't want to say no, this is about as well as I could draw it in real life. But so this is my vision. So, we got his little tongue here. Teardrop entry if you're coming in from this direction. Titling him Perryllel the Holdapus, trademark. Because it's funny. That's our parallel section. And then his cute little tail shows that this is our direct section if we're entering the hold that way. And then his little hat. And then his little flippers. And his little feet. So yes. Yeah, so that's Perryllel the Holdapus. Oh, you got a good Gus Grissom AFB story when I come up for air. Go for it. We're ready. An upside down platypus. It was. But yes, so okay, so now from here. Right? So from here to here. See? Now just visualize the colors. You got his, can you see my cursor? Oh God, could you see my cursor when I was explaining? Frick, I'm sorry. I hope you could. So like right here, right? Can you see oh my God, I can't tell if you can see my cursor. Oh, you know what? I usually use the paint bucket because you can see it better. There. So see his beak right here, his flipper, and then the D is supposed, the D for direct is supposed to be over here. But yeah. Yeah. So that's how I do the written test stuff. I haven't actually had to test it out. Like, I think the theory kind of helps for doing it mentally, but mental is one word for it. But yeah, I think the theory kind of helps with like trying to do it mentally, but also I usually just use GPS and or like flight. Yeah. Anyway. Perry the platypus, no, Perryllel the Holdapus. Just an ordinary platypus. No, Perryllel the Holdapus. Once again. The stuff of nightmares. Seem to be struggling for the right word. I probably was. I appreciate it. Thank you. No ordinary platypus, for he helps us learn about holds. Thus he is a Holdapus. Yes, exactly. Oh. Yes, so that is again once again Perryllel the Holdapus. So I think we need to do our flight plan. See, look, Georgia is offline as well. Oh darn. I need to get back to my other web thing. Flight plan. Boop. All right. So yes, hope y'all enjoy. Okay, I will say written tests make you do some strange things. Unless it's just me. Hello, how's it going? Good to see you. For showing my cursor, I can download the mouse highlight from the MS Store. Then I can see a colored circle around my cursor, and I can also see when the button is pressed. Let me just take that as a note. Put it in a note. Mouse highlight. in the MS store. Thank you. Oops. Making sure I have the mic down as well. There. Perfect. All right. Yes, I have. I've noticed after doing a thing when I'm showing things and using my mouse that you can't actually see what my cursor is doing, and then I just look silly. All right, we're gonna quick do our flight plan, do the thing. We're gonna at that point, then we can start the sim, and then I'll get back to chat. Okay, November Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1 C152. I remember the end this time, by the way. Equipment is Alpha. Departure, I don't even know. I think it was Golf Papa Charlie. Golf Papa Charlie to biannual flight review via Spare Golf Papa Charlie off block. Oh my gosh. We'll just go with 0500. This is why I do short legs for flights. Let me know if that's the incorrect one. I can't quite remember. Altitude, we said 5,000 feet. Airspeed, 105 knots. Arrival, biannual flight review. En route time, fruit. I don't know. 28 minutes sounds excellent. 0028. And for that, we're going to have 0400. 4 hours of fuel via spare Remarks new to VATS. Flight plan filed. Yay. I hope it was good because I completely forgot to actually re-look over it. So, there and there and there and there. Oh, shoot. All right, hang on. This might get a little bit weird. Oh, I keep forgetting to update LittleNavMap, but also, I think I've also been avoiding it. I don't think that it'll help me at all, but okay, hang on. Yeah. Oh, shoot. I've lost my mouse. If you can see the mess back there, please forgive me. Usually I can hide stuff because I'm just sitting here. I need to start doing this stuff earlier. Oh, God. Okay. So that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Got that. Got that. Got that. Got that. Got that. Microsoft Flight Simulator. All right. Oh. There needs to be a new Twitch category, flight planning simulator. I know. We're getting there. We're getting there though. The sim is coming up right now. You learned to fly originally in Southwest Michigan, so you did a lot of student cross country south to Indiana. A foreign student pilot from your local SDA university got lost and landed at Grissom Amphi without talking to ATC. Grissom then was a SAC base, and she was introduced to the pavement by the air police. Nasty note was sent to the university flight department. See, it's funny now, and for people who weren't involved, but how'd that go? Ooh, that's such a good story. Like, on one hand, not that they should be used to it or anything, but yeah, that's definitely a. And here's the thing, like, as a student pilot, I think of that and I'm like, oh, I would never do that. Or like, I would hope, like, deep down it would be like, oh God, I hope I never do that. And then, like, now as a CFI, I'm like, I have to trust that my students aren't going to do that. Like what? It makes me think, what lesson did they miss? What What was missed so that I can avoid the same situation? You never know. You never know. And that's one of those things. It's like, you can be, student could be doing really, really well. You trust them. You don't have to worry about them. And then all of a sudden they do something that you would never think. And it's, yeah, yep. That's the stuff that makes me nervous. Golf Papa Charlie, right? Golf Papa Charlie. Boom. You stepped away for a moment. That's okay. Happy to have you. Whatever. I hope whatever you stepped away for was fun. First time, first love. I don't know what that was for, but it was... The 4 dots makes me think it was less. I like to think it was a pleasant thing. But perhaps it's not. Oh no! Stream might still be running. I always worry about that. But nothing really... I guess it's just... What's the word? Just not taxing on the computer. But like hopefully... Like if I forgot to turn the mic off or the camera off, you never know. You never know what you might say or do. Something silly. That's my fear. You're so happy you're done with this student days of IFR learning. What do you mean? Like teaching students IFR or you learning IFR? Where is my cursor? Now I can't find my cursor. I'm ready to fly. Escape, general options, full screen. Does anybody know, is this just a me problem? Where my thing just is always windowed when I go into Microsoft Flight Simulator, even though I change it? That must have been terrifying for her. Oh, to be honest, I didn't even think about that. I do. I hope it's something that she can also laugh about now. But yes, I guess maybe. Oh, excellent. Good. And she was from Central America, so SAC bases are not... Oh, not impressed with it. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Moose heart. I forgot to do the moose heart there. Moose heart. Nice. Oh, yes, VATSIM first time. Okay. Yes. I didn't say it was my first time on VATSIM. I said I'm just new to VATSIM, and new is a relative term. Oh, we have to do paint one more time. We're gonna... So we can do our craft clearance quick. Ha. Craft clearance quick. Oh, that's why. I'm a silly. There. Good. All right. So we are getting, this is just how I do the craft clearance or the prep for the getting a clearance. How it goes is you get your clearance limit, the route you're going to fly, the altitude they want you to fly, the frequency you're going to be on, and your transponder code. So we are expecting to get Kilo Golf Papa Charlie. No, it's not. Sorry. Biannual flight review. We're getting cleared to whatever that actually is. Our route being starting from Golf Papa Charlie to VOR, Hoosier, to biannual flight review. The altitude that we filed, altitude that we filed is 5,000. So expect, they're likely going to give us lower than that, and then expect 5,010 minutes after departure. So we'll go over that. Frequency is going to be 122.8 because we're on Unicom. Yes, it is. No, hang on. Let's look at that. So for VATSIM, we use the actual CTAFs now. So 122.8 going to 122.8 again. Perfect. So, yep. So our frequency will be 122.8. Transponder code they will give us. And then they'll say things like time now is whatever it is. Zulu. Void if not off by whatever Zulu. Let us know. State your intentions or give us your intentions by whatever Zulu. And then, yeah. So this is like my skeleton bare bones prep. And then I have more room when I actually write it down to act more sorry, to actually write things in that if they give us a really big change, but especially for this tiny of a route in very not busy airspace, it's not likely to change very much. So yeah, so then whatever is correct, whatever I have written down that they give us, I just underline, and then yeah, add in anything like if they say climb, maintain, whatever, and then expect like 3,000 and then expect 5,010 minutes after departure. I'd write that in, get the frequency if they give us a different frequency, and then write the transponder code in and anything else. So yeah, that's how that goes. That's how I do it anyway. And then that's that. And getting the flight sim up. Bada boom, bada boom. No, it's been doing it to you too. Okay, all right. I am. I'm glad that it's not just me. It's not like a huge complaint thing, but I don't know. It's kind of a strange one, I think. If I don't find my cursor, better don't take notes. Just download the add-on and use it. But I do. I have it. But yes, if I tried downloading something now, I think my computer might explode. Going a little fast there, don't you think? All right. Okay, so we are going to look outside. Oh, everything is so beautiful. But our procedure is not authorized at night, so we'll do a morning flight. Oh, like on one hand, morning flights are like because you have to get up, but then it is kind of nice though too. Like everything is just I guess just mornings in general, but morning flight specifically, it's like yeah. The birds are singing, although you can't hear that when you're in the plane unless you hit them and then they're no longer singing. All right. Anyway, never mind. I was going to say turning off the night. Well, we kind of did. So we're pretending we're having a morning flight. Okay. First thing. Have to Noom. Control the space. Boop. All right. So we take a picture of the hobs and the tack, and then we do our electronics. Why did it do the thing? I was flying at one point, or for one reason or another. I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, it was a me flight. I was flying on my own, just getting hours. And I turned the master switch on, and the flaps started going. Why? It's because when they're in a certain position, the lever is in a certain position. They just go. And for some reason, it was in that position. So yeah, it frightened me for a second. Fuel gauges are there. Whoa, blinding. He is also blinded, apparently. Blinded by the light. Green. scoot. Grasp the pitot tube. Feel that heat. And turn it off. Landing lights. Taxi light. Beacon stays on. Nav lights. Pitot heat. That's the wrong button. Flaps go down. And then we get out. And we have a white flashlight to check things because we want to make sure that we're actually seeing anything that might be amiss. So we drain a little bit of fuel from each wing, check it for any sediment or bubbles in the bottom, which indicates the presence of water, which we don't want in our tanks. Either of those things, the sediment or the water. Make sure it is blue in color and give it a good sniff for funsies, as well as to make sure it smells like our 100 LL. And then we, dump it, get the belly thing, do the same thing, drain a little bit of fuel from here, check our oil, make sure that that is at least like 4.5, not more than 5. For some reason, somebody keeps filling up the oil higher than 5, and it says on the little on the little sticker in the little door, don't fill over 5. But I'm guessing they started in 172s because the 172s have always been 6 quarts, and don't let it get below 5. So yeah. Anyway, and then we check. That was our checking our quality of our fuel. Then we check our quantity. Dipstick it. Make sure the caps are on tight again. Excellent. So we did our electronics. We then did our liquids. Now we do our flow. This is our ELF pre-flight. Again, this is just, I don't know. Anyway, I only started calling it that recently, and I don't think it's at all helpful, but it amuses me. So there's that. Checking our static port, our avionics vents. This thing, the vent there. And then our pitot tube, drain hole, fuel vent, stall horn, leading edge of the wing. Give it a little wiggle. Make sure it's connected to that fuselage. And then we lift up there. Check 4 bolts, wiggle the rod, 4 bolts. Connection on our flap, wiggle the rod there, connection there. Check our tire as well as near our brakes to make sure they're not leaking brake fluid. Antennas, fuel caps, elevator. Whoosh, whoosh. Check those connections. Our rudder, give it itsy bitsy little wiggle. But my rudders don't do itsy bitsy apparently. And check those connections. Other side of the elevator as well as the trim connections. And then we do the opposite direction. Go ahead, chicken. You can do it. Does the thing. Then we go to our front. So, whoosh, leading edge and trailing edge of the propeller, both sides. Exhaust port, air intake, shimmy damper, nose wheel clearance, 4 fingers or a fist. Tire there. And, yeah. Take a little look-see from here. Make sure she's looking good. Check our checklist. And onwards. All right. It's because it is sitting longer at the checking for updates screen and therefore exiting full screen. Not sure why. Oh, weird. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess it's just one of those things. That sort of a pre-flight. Set it to full screen. I don't know. Sorry. During your pre-flight before your last lesson, there was a big ding from a rock in the propeller. Did not fly that day. See, that is an excellent point. Hi, by the way. How is it going? Because that was actually one of the questions that my students had. And I remember having a question myself, like, what am I actually looking for? And the answer really is you'll probably know it when you see it. And that's another thing that I brought up too, is like student brought it up, like, what are we actually looking for? And it's just, this is why you do it the same way every time, so that you know what it's supposed to look like, so that when you see something different, that's when you know I need to look at that a little bit more. So, has anything changed? Like, did they take it in? Were they able to do something with it? Like, do they gotta like just buff it out with a key? Or my DPE for my private instrument and commercial, he told me this story I think at least twice. And I love this story, so I was happy to listen to it. But he said during one of his, I can't remember if it was a lesson. It was some flight that he was doing, and he came from, I think he had family that flew. So they were used to doing stuff themselves. And so one time he was flying, and there was a notch or a crack or something. Not a crack, like a little ding in the propeller. So he just whips out his keys and starts buffing it out. Somebody comes up to him and they're like, "What are you doing?" So yeah, so don't do that. This is not a story to say do that. I just thought it was really funny that like my examiner told me that story. So it's again, moral of this story is do your pre-flights every time so you know what things are supposed to look like, and so you know what to pay more attention to if it's different. Yep, that. Took it in, don't know if they just replaced it or if they filed it down or if they had to replace it. Okay, all right, interesting. Oh, okay. Quite the headset. Oh yes, isn't it? Isn't it? Gorgeous. Wait until you see the pants. They're matching. Yeah. I still don't know why or what outfit I have on that it does that, but yes. Oh geez, right. It's a good point though on you'll know it when you see it. Right. Many tend to be lazy on the pre-flight because no one thinks anything is going to change or anything is going to have happened to their plane. And that is you never know. It's not like there's going to be anything intentional. Like you hope it's not going to be intentional. But if you get out of that routine and you do one thing differently, you could forget something. Like if you do your walk around and then you hop in the plane and then it's like, oh, wait, like maybe we looked at our flight plan again and where we were going is closed. But we, what's the word? So we should reflight plan. But you know what? We don't want to stay in this hot airplane, so we're going to get out and we are going to do our flight planning right here. Okay, so we're doing our flight planning and we set down a pair of glasses on the cowling here, and we do our flight planning, and then we get pulled away for some reason, and then we come back to our plane and we hop in our plane and we start it up and poof, we lose our glasses and potentially cause damage to the plane. You know what I mean? It's like not all you got to do, but like if the final thing before you get into your cockpit is not doing your final walk around, you could be missing something. Maybe you're not, but you could be. And there have been plenty of times, I won't talk about them, where if I had done the walk around that I do now, I wouldn't have missed certain things. So we'll leave that at that. So yes, it is. You never know. Don't trust yourself. Don't trust anyone else. Again, not intentional stuff, but you never know. And it's better to just like do that final walk around, check all of the things, because the one time that you do need it, you will be glad that you did. You walked up and saw the bolts on the wing, super loose, and in an instant missing entirely. Story called maintenance right away. I'm sure. It's always the chocks. I have not yet had a chocks moment because the only reason for that is because I have heard so many stories about the chocks that I am terrified of missing the chocks. So yes, that's the only reason for me right now. The one that I did do, I will admit, it was a solo during private, so I have learned since, and this is one of the reasons why I do my final walkarounds. Okay. The entire cowling cover, the cover that goes on the cowling, and I turn the aircraft. So it had a tough time starting, and then all of a sudden when I got it started, I could see it like flapping, and I was like, oh, words that I can't say because I'm a lady, although I definitely said them at the time. And I cranked that thing off. I'm not sure if I did it properly or not, and I was horrified. But of course, I had to call the owners and the people who do the maintenance, and because then I took the cover off, and then I couldn't start it again. And then I tried starting it, and I couldn't get it started, and I was like, did I just break it? Did I just break the aircraft? So I called the owners, and both of them came over, and I was distraught. And it turns out I just wasted the battery on it trying to get it started when it wasn't starting, and I didn't break anything. But I did. I ended up not flying that day because I was so distraught about it. And the next time after that I was going to fly, the owner said, I'm only going to ask this one time. Did you remember the engine cover? And I was like, I did. And he's like, okay. So it's like, it wasn't trying to be like a jerk about it. And he did. He never asked about it again after that, but it was that it happened once, might happen again. So just check in. And then it was good. So yeah, your instructor forgets the chocks more than you do. I mean, hey, we're not perfect, okay? So yes, that's why. Final walk around. Yes. Anyway, sorry. Okay. Going. I always say we're gonna be efficient about these things. Nope. I'm not good at that. I'm not good about efficiency. What were we doing? So we did our thing. Now we get in, and then we do our fuel is on, trim for takeoff, circuit breakers, but we visually check. And now that I said visually check, I still forget. We need to check. Whoa. Oil is good. Engine's good. Good. Control the space. There. No talking during takeoff and landing. Seatbelts on at all times. Exit out the doors to the left and right. For now, make sure they are shut and locked. If we lose power on the rollout, we'll stop on the runway. If it is after takeoff and below 1,000 feet, we'll land straight ahead. And if it's above 1,000 feet, we'll consider making a turn back to the runway. Seat track bag and lock, chicken. Then we do our mixture full rich. Throttle is slight. Carb heat is out. Prime it. Brakes are set. Master on. Clear left. Clear right. Clear ahead. Clear back. Clear prop. Hand on that throttle. Whee. Good. A little bit more. There it is. All right, watch those engine instruments come up. Get our avionics on. Boop and a boop and a boop, and our flaps come up too. Don't forget these avionics on over here. Lean that mixture a little bit, because this aircraft likes it a little bit lean on the ground. Can check our weather. You think almost everyone has their things that they've done right, but that's the thing is, as I'm trying to teach the walk around and pre-flight and stuff, like the final walk around is, for me, it's stuff that I have done and that I have read about people doing, like the main things. So I have certain things that I check because I have done something, making sure that the freaking engine cover is off. Making sure that the dipstick is off the cowl. What else? those are my main two. Things that I've heard other people do, tow bar and chocks. Flight controls, making sure that those have movement so that you know that the gust lock isn't on. And then another one that I have from when I did my ferry flying, this is sort of a two-parter. When I did my ferry flying, the owner of the plane told me to like triple check the oil cap and the drain, the sump in the engine area. So just triple checking that to make sure those are solid. So I do that one for that reason, but also because during my private check ride, I did my final walk around and got in the plane, and my DP said, "All right, so are you good?" And I was like, "Yep." And then he went and he checked the door cover on the cowling to make sure that it was shut, I guess. So at the time, I thought, oh my God, did I miss something? But I think that was just one of his things. And so I've kind of adopted that as my own as well. So yeah, so I do those things, the checking the engine cover or the oil cover, the sump lever, and then making sure that that door is actually latched and closed. So yeah, you do. There are things you need to learn by experience and develop into your own routine. So yeah. Yep. Everybody's got their things. Meowdy from Twin Cessna 310EB. Hello, how's it going? Meowdy. I love that. If the fuel sump wasn't working as it's supposed to, are you still flying? I think the answer should be no. But I would also be like, yeah, I guess I would say no. I would definitely not do like a lesson or something, but I would be like, do a lap in the pattern maybe to see if anything happens. But otherwise, no, I'd probably have somebody come and look at it. Why? Do you have a story? I'd be curious. Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, the 26 at 0455 Zulu, automated, 80 degrees at 8 knots, 10 statute miles clear of clouds, 9 degrees Celsius, 2 degrees for our dew point, 3019er for our altimeter, remarks AO2 differentiates precipitation, temperature 9 degrees. 09er, 0.0 degrees, and 01.8 degrees. There we go. That's how you read it. Yeah, so 3019, 80 degrees for our wind. I need where, oh God, is it? I brought it over to your specific, found it. You're excited for your lesson tomorrow. It's going to be an archer. Yay! That'll be fun. So was that like, how long has that been planned for? Or was it a surprise? So Salt Lake Center is online. But that's not where we are. So oopsie. We already did our flight planning and it's already late. Oh, and we don't fly over there because mountains. Sorry. Flight plan. So we are going Kilo Golf Papa Charlie to to biannual flight review. I don't know why this amuses me so much. 110.2. Oh, is it always 110.2? Because that is trippy. And I think that's all we need. So we're going to 167 is going to be about-ish our 167. Oopsie daisy, went a little far. There we go. And then our next is going to be for our approach, procedure approach. 159er. All right, so I'm just putting it in there. As a remembery thing. And we will swap it over here when we need to, because we do need our DME. So yeah, we'll swap it to our primary when we get there. All right. Looks good. Cool. Got our frequencies in, perfect. Now I suppose we should pop on our little VATSIM. Connect, but now I have to add the N back in. November Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1. Connect. Oh, and then it's going to give us a squawk code. I forgot about that part. There does not appear to be any controller providing clearance delivery services at your departure airport. Please squawk 4572 for your IFR flight from Golf Papa Charlie to biannual flight review. Bravo Foxtrot Romeo will aid in your identification. 4572. And 2. Yay! That makes me so happy. Do our little test. Perfect. Oof. Just double checking the things. Okay. Okay. You had a guy want you to ferry his plane, and he said, don't worry about sumping it. They don't work. You won't get anything. And didn't care to have it looked at. So what did you do? Okay. So here's the thing. It's ultimately up to pilot and command. My whole thing was if it's something new on an aircraft I know, I'm a little bit concerned about it. If it's something that an aircraft that I don't know, every aircraft has their quirks. I would definitely probably want somebody to look at it before I flew it. But then my other thing, when you're, isn't it typically when you're ferrying planes, they're going to be, to some degree, junk? Right? That is what I've heard. I know I was very fortunate for my few ferry flights that the guy actually wanted it to be in proper working order. But yes, so again, pilot command. Like, if you can, that's something where you can think about it. If it's hangared where it's not getting rained on all the time, and so there's not potentially water in there. That's something to be thinking about, but it sounds a little bit sketchy. The difference between the Piper Warrior and the Archer, you've always been in the Warrior, but now it's the Archer. I have no idea. I have not done those sorts of aircraft, so I hope somebody else knows the things. Weird, yes. So excited to be in something maybe a little different. Absolutely. Getting those different aircraft is good, because then you get like a broader sense of how things work together. So that will, hope you come back and tell us about it. You think the real question is, what would Perryllel do? He would be direct. But, he wouldn't be going around the point. I don't know. All right, sorry. We're doing the things. Getting the taxi thing up. Procedure. Airport diagram. Where are we? I haven't turned that part on yet. There it is. So, the Tomahawk is now available for MSFS. Is that a good one? I have heard things, but I wouldn't know the aircraft by sight. Funnily enough, y'all are you're talking about the Archer, you're talking about a Tomahawk. One of the stories that I have, I'll start taxiing. One of the stories that I have is I am the owner of the 150 does biannual flight review. Wow, isn't that interesting? Typically BFRs for an aircraft club, or yeah, a club at a different airport. And he asked, he's like, hey, are you available to go get checked out in an Archer and potentially a Tomahawk to go do training in that? So again, typically BFRs, but maybe lessons. And it was like, I mean, yeah, I haven't really done low wings, but I'm down. So that hasn't happened yet. It's been put off because scheduling didn't work, but that's potentially going to be a thing. But yeah, BFRs, Archers, Tomahawks, it all fits. But yes, is it a good one? Is there anything that I should know? From what you've experienced so far, it really is. Ooh, excellent. That's fun. I'd say I may have to check into it, but I'm sure I have to pay for it, correct? We shall see. We shall see. 080 is like so. So we are going to 36. We'll have a little bit of almost a 90-degree crosswind, but that's okay. We know how to do it. And you're talking about in the sim, right? It's a good plane in the sim. All right, checking the things. So I've gotten to the point too, or my students have gotten to the point where they're like, so I'm letting them do the pre-flight on their own. I'm supervising, but also like, again, trying not to interfere. And I'm making sure that I'm checking the things that I like really want to make sure that we're checking. So like I ask how much fuel was in it, how much oil was in it, stuff like that. And then, and then like the startup and stuff, like letting them just take the checklist. They don't have to do it the way that I do it. They can just go through the checklist and like figure out a flow for themselves. So they've started asking questions now, which is fine, which is good, because it's also some stuff that I haven't really thought about myself to some degree. Oh God, we're going a little fast, or we were going a little fast. So one of the things is we have the Aspen in the 150. So it's the I get these mixed up, so I apologize if I mix it up. It's the it's the little the attitude indicator and the heading indicator, like those are replaced by just the big square thing, and it's like the glass. It's got the little ticker tapes, and so all of the instruments are combined into that thing. And so one of the questions that one of my students had is, okay, how do you, like the turn coordinator, how do you do that test? The attitude indicator, how do you do that test? And then it's like, okay, so we have to taxi in order to do that. And then as I'm explaining the things, I realize I don't actually know, or I don't remember how, like, the little airplane is supposed to tilt the way that you're turning. But we don't have that on the turn coordinator. So I was like, you know what? I know that the ball is supposed to go in the opposite direction, but I'm not sure. I know on the steam gauge, but I don't know how it is on here. So I will get back to you on that. And the next time I was going to fly with my instructor, I asked him about it. And so the top of the Aspen is like this with the ticker tapes, and then the bottom is the HSI. So on there, it has like white lines that go in the direction of the turn. And that is your little airplane. That's how you check it. So I was like, oh, hey, there we go. So yeah, so I've gotten a little bit better with like recognizing when I'm not quite sure of something and being able to be like, you know what, I will get back to you on that. But yeah, it has. And some of the questions that they ask is just like, shoot, I haven't thought about it quite. Or it's like, I haven't thought about it specifically for this aircraft because I haven't had to yet. So I know it in my other aircraft, my original aircraft, but I'm not quite sure about this one maybe. So yeah, that's been interesting. Run up. So checking the things. Flaps are up. Mixture's where it needs to be. Primer's in and locked. I was going... Sorry. I have a few stories. I was going for... So, another thing that my students, right? We don't have to prime this aircraft. So, when they look at the checklist and they go primer in and locked, they don't check it because we didn't do anything to it. And I'm like, nah, we're still going to check it though. Just give it a little, just make sure it's yeah. So I'm teaching them that. And I was going to go on a flight by myself. And I did what I usually do, where I just give a little pull on the primer and the sucker started coming out. And I was like, oh my God. So it's things like that. It's like we were talking about earlier. You never know. Like, it shouldn't have. I didn't use the primer. I did not use the primer, but for some reason it could have and would have come out in flight if I hadn't checked it every time. So yeah, so I put it back in and locked it, and then all of a sudden my engine started doing some stuff and I got a little bit nervous, but I checked it and I made sure all the things are good, and then it was fine. So yeah, so again, another reason, always do the things even if you know you didn't do anything to it. You never know. Anyway, sorry. So that was one of those things, and I'm glad I've started instilling that in my own students. So I have a recent story that I can tell them about that if it comes up. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. Carrying on. Primer is in and locked. All the things are good. DG is good. Mixture 1700. Carb goes out. It's a little higher than 1700. And there. What is that? I'm concerned. I guess we'll find out. Checking. Carmen! Hello! Hi! What? Sorry. How are you? How's it going? Good to see you. I'm just really concerned about... Oh, it's the light. Of course it is. I should have known. Did our idle check, and we're good. All right, so we are setting off. We are going to be taking off from... Oh, and then we'll quick do our paint. We kind of talked about it, but... Paint. There it is. Shoot. So we would go up and we would say, we were talking to Indy Center, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1 on the ground at I'm not sure where, at Putnam County, Golf Papa Charlie, looking for our IFR clearance to Bravo Foxtrot Romeo, Bedford. And then they would say, likely, potentially, hopefully, clear to Bravo Foxtrot Romeo as filed. Climb, maintain 3,000, expect 5,000, 10 minutes after departure. Frequency 122.8, squawk 4257. That's what we got, right? 4257. Void off, if not off, in 10 minutes. Time now, no freaking idea. It's 0528. Call within Zulu, call with intentions no later than 0538. And then we would read it back. Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1 is cleared to Bravo Foxtrot Romeo as filed. Climb, maintain 3,000. Expect 5,000, 10 minutes after departure. Frequency 122.8. Squawk 4257. Void if not off in 10 minutes. Time now 0528 Zulu. Call with intentions by 0538 Zulu. Then they'd say, read back correct, talk to you in the air. Be like, aight. Except we wouldn't say that. We would just ignore them. But they would be expecting that, so it's okay. Got back from Colorado last week. Spent some awesome time at a couple airports. Yes. Oh, so was that like just for funsies? That's awesome. Definitely worth checking stuff. Yes, especially if other people also fly the same aircraft. Right. And that's the thing is, I was just the one that flew that. I had just given a lesson in it. So, I don't. So, because one of the things that I do is I do turn. I turn the primer, because it's one of those where it's got like the little notch that it's just that little notch and it has to like line up with the hole in order for it to come out. Sorry if that sounds weird. And then you push it in and then you turn it so that it locks it. So I usually turn it to see kind of like to see if it's close enough to that hole that it would actually come out. And maybe that's just all that happened, is that it was that close. And then yeah, that happened. So that might have been all that it was, and if I had just checked it normally, it would have been fine. But yeah, it was surprising. But yes, absolutely. Just always check the stuff, because you never know. You never know, even if you trust the people. You never know if they are having a bad day, if they want or not, like if they missed something, or if they had said, oh, somebody else did it before, or somebody else checked it before, and maybe somebody else thought that somebody else had checked it, and maybe that person hadn't flown that day, so nobody had been checking it. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just always the one like, you know what? I will be the first one in the line, where if other people down the line are like, oh, the person before checked it, at least somebody did. Or again, if I am the first person in the line, yeah, just always doing the stuff yourself as much as possible. We'll quick get in the air. I'll get back to the chat. So, cause we have to get off the ground. That's right. I kind of forgot about that. Oh, we're also on VATSIM. I forgot we're on VATSIM. For the love. Okay. So, we are departing 3-6. Left downwind departure, crossing the field to the southeast. Where are we? Bedford? We're going to Bedford. We're in Greencastle. Greencastle traffic. Scoping. Departing 3-6. Just want to make sure it actually goes through. No. Why? Oh, okay, hello. You scared me. I thought it was ATC coming online. Okay, I get it. Oh my god. But hello. You scared the words I can't say because I'm a lady out of me. Oh, that's so funny. That's awesome. I didn't know you could do that. Sorry, Star. Okay, I will. I'll get back to chat. We want to get into the air though. So, and our void time is coming up. All right. So first we're going to do our greens check. So ammeter, flaps are up, mixture full rich, lights are on, instruments are in the green. Does the things, trim and fuel. We clear left, we clear right, and then we say departing 3-6, left. Oh shoot. Right downwind departure to the southeast. Because, again, and this is something I probably have to ask about again, VFR traffic departs left, right, or IFR traffic departs right. I'm not particularly sure why and whether or not that has specific context, so that's my thinking right now. I kind of prefer to depart left traffic, but I'm not sure why the left versus right, so I will just do right for now. Right hand, right downwind departure to the southeast. Where are we? Greencastle. Greencastle traffic, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1, departing 3-6, right downwind departure to the southeast. Greencastle. Okay. And we are, oh god, rudders. We are able to depart from here. So, hand on that throttle. Keeping the, oh my god, why? Keep that yoke back. Ah, we have a crosswind. That's right, I kind of forgot about that. And we're off. Okay, so we're climbing and we're climbing. We're maintaining our heading. And we're climbing. We're kind of maintaining our heading. North. North, I say. Oh, shoot. Why? I didn't do that, I promise. Climbing to 400. And then we can turn. We check our greens and our flaps and our mixture and all the good things. We make our turn. There it is. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. Greencastle traffic, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1, right downwind 3-6, departing to the southeast, Greencastle. So we would intercept our our expected course. And then we would switch over and we would call Indy Center, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1. Just southeast of Greencastle. 2,100, climb 3,000. And then they'd say radar contact. Proceed, clear direct, Oscar, Oscar, Mike. Climb, maintain 5,000. Direct, Oscar, Oscar, Mike. Climb, maintain 5,000. Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1. So then we need to go direct. So that heading is 164. And we're continuing climbing. And I'm sorry, I'm going to turn the those things off for now so that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Or we're, I don't know, not cheating with our... I mean, there's not really instrument stuff that we're worrying about. We can see where we're going, but just in case we encounter a cloud. Not likely, but still. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not sure where. It doesn't really help me ascertain your location. ATC. I know. That's why, again, I tend to overdo it when I know that I actually have to talk to the ATC. And then when I'm actually not talking to the ATC, I don't check those things. Like I know I should. And I'm talking about VATSIM. I know where I'm at in real life usually. All the time, kind of. Moving on. But yes, then it's like I do. When I know I'm not talking to ATC, it's like it doesn't quite matter. Except we are still on VATSIM. I do tend to forget that point. Mostly a little work opportunity too. Ooh, well, I hope that went well as well. And yes, overall that you had a really good time. Got some photos of aircraft with mountains in the background. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Like on the airport, or were you able to do some flying as well? Hello, how is it going? I hope you're well. ICAO, Golf Papa Charlie. Oh god. Hang on. I'm gonna type it. Caps lock. Kilo, Golf, Papa, Charlie. Via to Kilo biannual flight review. Oh, getting back. All right, sorry. Gotcha, you did. Oh my gosh, that scared me so bad. But no, that's a super cool feature that I did not know was a thing. So thank you for making me privy to it. Still not being instructed. You better not be being instructed. Absolutely not. You realize I'm not instructing on Twitch, but if I do ground school online, you'd pay for that. It does sound like a fun opportunity, but it would take some. I know there are already like ground schools, but it could be fun to do like live stuff. But then again, you never know who you're getting, and I don't know. It's a weird sort of a thing. So now I've just had like a thought. Well, yeah, there's just stuff that you have to think about to like get Charlie Yankee Alpha things. And I don't know, just want to make sure that you're not doing it in such a way that it's going to be detrimental to somebody else's actual learning, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I don't know. It'd be definitely something I'd be curious to do. Because I do enjoy doing it, and I've enjoyed doing little bits of ground school for my students. And I do think that this has helped me be a little bit better at being able to express what I'm trying to say when I'm talking to them, and in such a way that actually makes sense. So, I don't know, it could be fun. No flying, but went to Broomfield and North. Okay, hang on, sorry, just let me make sure that I'm solidly flying. No flying, but went to Broomfield and North Colorado Regional, so was up close to the stalls, taxis, and runways. Oh, that's awesome. So we were able to get like behind the scenes look and everything. That sounds fun. Hello, how's it going? How's it going? And you considered doing that for years, but Twitch has major limitations in that regard. Right. But there's also other sorts of platforms that could be utilized. Always something to look into and consider. Do ground school for flight sims. CYA mode. Yes, exactly. Oh, okay. I mean, and yeah. I don't know, but like it. I don't know, maybe. And again, like, it's one of those things where if you consider just doing topics that don't necessarily have to do with the actual flying of the aircraft, like at what point do you like delineate that? Because like you could talk about like the physics and stuff, but like when you're talking about the physics, in order to make it potentially more understandable, you talk about how it affects the aircraft in flight. And in order to talk about how it affects the aircraft in flight, you might have to talk about how the aircraft maneuvers in flight. And then you start, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, on final into Mayfield, Kentucky. Nice. Was it a pleasant flight from wherever you were coming from? That's exactly what you called it when you did it. Exactly, yes. But, and I mean, it is. It can work. Even caught a rotorcraft landing at North Colorado Regional. Was it awesome? I bet it was awesome. You did an entire 35 lesson series centered on simming, and it's definitely difficult to separate the real from the sim. Right. But, and again, but then again, you also think about, like, there's all these ground schools out there that are actually for aviation things on not quite the same platform, but sometimes can be somewhat similar platforms. So yeah, I don't know. It is. It's definitely like a personal thing, and it's definitely probably something that they really thought about, and they probably have lawyers and stuff just in case. But it is. It's definitely an interesting thing to think about. And I have, like, that is, like, that's one thing, and I might be more, I don't know, I might consider it, like, more if, like, at my airport, my instructor, he loves instructing. He's off at his big boy airplane job now, but he still does a little bit, and he wants to, like, increase the whole flight school thing at our airport. So he would be interested, and he's talked about doing, like, a ground school system. So if I started doing things like that in real life and upped my abilities to actually do ground school stuff, I might be a bit more comfortable doing, like, actual stuff on here. But that's, yeah, that would take some some consideration and yeah, figuring things out. So it is. It's different because like you're as much as I'm talking to you guys, right? But I don't actually know who's all out there. So yeah, it's a lot of this stuff is just easier in person. But then you think about where like ground lesson stuff via like Sporties and or YouTube and or one of my students I think did the M0 Alpha ground schooling. Like if people pay for it, they get what it is. It is what it is. But at that point, then it's all prepped and packaged and stuff. So, yeah. It is. Yeah. It's something to think about. A lot. And see what happens. Maybe. Pretty chill departure out of STL. Cessna 310 handled it well. Nice. I was just talking to one of the instructors over at my airport about multi-engine, and I'm really upset because he is an MEI, but the multi-engine aircraft that they have available is a Baron, which would be incredibly expensive. But he said that his favorite to do multi-engine training in was the 310. So I am curious. I've heard about the 310 and stuff, but at the time, I don't know these things. So now I need to know these things. Very much, yay! You think I get sick of constantly the whole not real instruction disclosure? Well, and again, like I guess what I'm saying is if I actually wanted to do instruction, at which point I couldn't say that anymore. And I would have to say that anymore, but I do. I have to work on, I still have to continue working on that before thinking about doing it too. Like I can do it with my students where I can get their feedback right away and it's just them and I know them particularly so that, oh God, sorry, I had like this terrible feeling that we had passed the VOR. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, like I can tailor it specifically to them. Whereas I haven't yet had the experience of trying to tailor things to a group. I mean, I guess kind of making my own lesson plans kind of was. But at the same time, it was also kind of for a check ride. So I had this thought before recently that I was like, you know, looking back at my lesson plans, there's definitely stuff I would do different now that I've actually done some instructing. But yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to starting the double I lesson plans to hopefully do a little bit better with that. Getting back on our VOR course. Exactly, maybe the problem is about a bit more about discoverability, potentially. Very hard to ascertain level of learning and provide feedback. Right. Doing social media in its current form is very one way. Right. And okay, so that's something that I had a question with, potentially. So one of my students did the M0 Alpha ground school, and we were talking about, we were doing ground reference maneuvers, and I I do. I don't know what they've gone over in their ground school, so I'll ask the question, did you go over this? And one of the things that I asked about I think it was the AGL versus the MSL, and she said, it seemed like the M0 Alpha ground school was a little bit that like they expected you to already know certain things. So I'm not sure if the M0 Alpha was just like a written test prep course. So yeah, so that's something that I have to figure out. So again, I only have the 2 students, so I'm able to look at them specifically and meet them as exactly where they are as I can. Whereas, like you said, the level of learning, providing the feedback, you never know. And it's like, it's so many different people and they don't always participate. So you don't know, like, you don't, yeah. Cause like, hello? But then that's the other thing too, is even in real life with flight students, if they're not bringing things to you, concerns that they have, you might not know either whether something is actually bothering them or they don't actually understand something. I remember in my training, when I first started out, one of the first lessons with my instructor, with number 1 instructor, and he said I think he said something like, do you understand that or something? And I was like, yup, while inside thinking, nope. And he did the stern thing where he's like, if you're not honest with me, I cannot teach you. You have to be honest with me and bring forward your stuff so that I know what I need to help you with. And I was like, okay. And it was good for me. And I remember that all the time. And that's been a thing that I've carried through my whole training, is that if I have some problem, I need to friggin' ask. But when students first start out, they might not. And even beyond them first starting out, you never know. So you do have to try to pick that out as a CFI. But we're also not mind reading. So it is. It's a little bit of a tangly thing, but that's why we do it. Not why we do it, but it's just part of the process. Hard to get people through plateaus, right? Fair. Or maybe more about your lack of Google foo about which part. Sure. Yeah, there's all those technically things that you're supposed to do and can do and whatever, but Oh, I should probably, approach map. So we're coming up on our initial approach fix, and we're just gonna do a straight in, and then we might just have to do a little bit of pattern work. I should be able to do stories pretty quickly, so maybe not. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit sterile cockpit for a second, and then maybe we will. Maybe we'll do a couple of patterns. Hello. Oh God. Coming up on it. We're gonna be at 2,500. Oh, okay. Somebody's talking to somebody, and I don't know how or why. It's the textual ATC. So it has nothing to do with us, as far as I can tell. All right, coming up on our VOR, we're gonna start descending. After the VOR. We'll have 7 miles, and we can get down to 2,500. So once we get on the first stretch, 19.4, so 9.4, we'll make our 10-mile final call. So, all right, we're 2.5 miles, so Well, if it's on Sims only, then it wouldn't be for real aviation, so still not real instruction. But it's one of those things where, like, yes, you can say that, but at the same time, I can't think of an example, but I don't know. People can still claim stuff, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. If someone was to put something in that sneaky tip jar, would I be interested in trying out the 3? Sure. If there's like a note that I'm sorry, I haven't looked at that in a while. If there's like a little note thing, you can like put that in there. Be like, this is for this, and it'll be like, I would totally be interested in it. So much context you get from nonverbal cues, right? Without at least two-way video, it's hard to determine, and even then, still rough. Right, absolutely. Okay. I have a question. I have a question then. May or may not be. It is. It's from real. It has switched. So now we go to. So like, say your students text you with a question, and you text them back with an answer. Thoughts? Because I hadn't actually thought about that. But for me, I kind of liked it. Well, or like, again, if they ask a question and I'm like, you know what? I need to look at that, review that, and organize my thoughts and materials. And then I get a really nice, thorough. Because I will. That's what my instructors have done for me. Is I'll have a question, and either they get back to me with sources and stuff, or like I'll text them a question and they text back. But yeah, sure, but that's not a lesson. Okay, that's fair. Okay, fair. So delineation there. Lesson versus questions. Got it. Okay, fair. Yes, not building from the known to the unknown, just one piece. Okay, perfect. Yes, I figured there was something like that. I just couldn't think of it at the moment. So all right, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, I've had a thought. What if you did like little shorts where it's not like a lesson, it's just like the little bitty pieces? Like, one of the things that I liked was the Arao. Oh god, I think it's the Embry Riddle ones and their systems videos where it's just like the tiny piece of the system. You know what I mean? And it's like just like that little snippet, just that little bite size where I'm like, I'm learning about it over here, but for some reason it's not quite making sense. So I go over here and just that like little snippet kind of fleshes it out a little bit more. You know what I mean? Donations to this recipient aren't supposed. What? I'm sorry. I mean, if you're hankering for the 310, I can try and figure out something else. I did. I threw it up there in case, because that's like what you're supposed to do, right? Plus, I did. Okay. If I need, I've been putting off doing the affiliate. But if it's something that would make things easier for you guys, and if there are things that would be fun for you guys that I could do with that, I will consider it. You have struggled with this very thing for a long time, right? Which is why you left it all unofficial and free. Right, exactly. Right. Which isn't to say someone couldn't do it, you just struggle with monetizing it. Right. But and then again, that's one of those things where it's like putting all that work into it. You know what I mean? But and that's why for me too, like with this stuff, I don't know, like there's potentially, oh, hang on. Okay. What about like direct monetization versus like indirect monetization? So like the whole, isn't there like buy me a coffee things like for where like freeware aircraft and stuff? Where it's like, you know, we're not going to charge for this, but if you really like this stuff, is that all like also still a little bit nah? People sucks. I'm sorry. I tried to find like the best way to like just have a thing there if people wanted, but yeah, I do. I'm sorry. Just gonna send it the long way. It'll still work. Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay. You get a lot of tools in affiliate. I know, but okay. Do you want to know my hesitation? I don't like having the ads. I don't like having the ads. I don't like. Sorry, I'm supposed to be above 2,500, so I'm just keeping it at 3,000. Although, you know what? Challenge us. Challenge ourselves. Actually, 14 is the final approach fix. We're looking for 9.4. Sorry. Hang on. Oh God, I really hope I have the correct. Yes, I do. I do have it. Okay, sorry. 9.4 we're looking for. We're 10 miles out. We're talking to, who are we talking to? Oh God, I don't know. Bedford. We're just going to say Bedford traffic. 10 miles. Oh, northwest. At 3,000. Inbound for straight in runway 13. It is 13, but it's slightly offset. We didn't look at that, I guess. Or we didn't, what's it called? But yes, I have a thing. I have like a personal thing against having ads that I don't necessarily know whether I support them. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be having ads on my stuff. 1 second. 10 miles northwest. Bedford traffic, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1, 10 miles to the northwest at 3,000. Inbound for straight in runway 13. Bedford. Oh, you know what? We could probably check the weather. But where are we going? BFR. 090, perfect. 3016. So at one point they would have said, "Oh, do you have the weather?" And we would say, "Yes, we have the weather. We would like the VOR 13 cleared for the VOR 13 approach." And then at some point they'd say, "Clear to land," and then we would contact our people. So looking for 14 DME, and that's our final approach fix. So we'll start descending 2,500. But yeah, so that's like my personal sort of a thing, and that's like a, yeah, definitely like a me thing. And I'm not, I know it's not quite like that, like a thing. Again, strictly a personal me thing, and I don't care if other people do it either. So I hesitate, but I'll consider it. Okay. Should have gone through this time. Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to trying the 310. Because that is, well, and that's the thing too, is we'll do some pattern work. I have like a few stories. They're short, but I babble, so 2,500. 2,500. $2,500, 1380 by 17.2. $1,300 is our MDA. Look at it this way. I'm doing this content anyways. Might as well get some revenue from it. And yeah, there's stuff like Patreon. Right, but again, it is. It really is. It's... I'm salty about things. I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder about things when it, like, in that sort of an arena. So that's because it's not, because then for me it's not just me getting revenue. It's also, in order for me to get the revenue, I also have to, I can start descending. I also have to allow other things, companies, to get revenue that, again, I don't necessarily want to support. Do you know what I mean? That's my thing. So, yeah. But again, like I said, I'll look at it. Because yes, things have changed since I first got into this stuff. So, I don't know. You did it like that because people were going to do things to the level they wanted, which is fine, but in that same regard, it's difficult to set a standard. Thus, it's entertainment. Right, fair. Yeah. Oh gosh, commercial question. When flying for hire during VFR night, the pilot has to be instrument rated and current, but does the plane also need to be IFR current? I would have to check the regs to see if that's actually in there. Because I want to say I assume. So I don't know the answer, but my thought process would be, I guess, I would think potentially not, because I would assume that the need for the pilot to be instrument rated and current would be to have that extra ability at night. Do you know what I mean? So I'd be curious for the actual answer to that question. Nice self-voice mod. Oh God, what did I do? Am I CFI training for... I'm not sure what that means. For... I'm sorry, I can't figure out what that means. For what? For life? For a living? For... But hello, how's it going? Okay, hang on. So 1380 by 17.2. Okay, so now we can get down to 1300. So once we get to 1300, that is our MDA. How many miles out? We are on a 2 mile. 2 miles northwest. $1,300. Drop it. Bedford, right? Bedford traffic, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1, 2 mile final, runway 13 Bedford. 1300. There it is, yay! Do our thee gumps. Throwing out flaps in. So that should have been done by the final approach fix. Or at least that's what what number 1 instructor suggested. Was like a mile before final approach fix. Whee! This is kind of a pretty little area, it looks like. Ah, okay. My iPad is in the way, for the love. I always do that. I always do. I need to have my screen out a little bit more, but we're just doing what we do. I promise I fly better and I land better in an actual plane. Good Lord. Okay, so we're gonna backtaxi, we'll take off and we'll wander a little bit. I mean, technically. Oop. Bedford traffic, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1, backtaxi 13 Bedford. Okay, sorry. No, just the pilot. That was also what I was thinking. So I'm curious. Not a real flight sim streamer. If you don't babble! Right. But I don't remember what context that was for. But yeah, we'll just go with yes. Oh dear, you brought up a story. No. I'm sorry. Like, that's why it's like I don't want to get into it because it's my own, like, sort of petty isn't the right word. But it's sort of like a sticking it to that is really not. It's just a me thing. So yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. You've heard both. Oh, you've heard both arguments. You sure or guessing? Oh, okay. Okay. 99%. You'll double check the regs. Yes, that is always the answer to the question. Let me check the regs. Says only an instrument rating on the same category or class, not that the aircraft being used is instrument capable. That's what I kind of thought. But there could also be some sneaky reg somewhere else that's like, oh hey, ha. I'm here to ruin your day if you don't do your research. Ducky doing just a little bit of dance in there. I know. It was a little bit of a what's the word? Shady approach and landing, but we made it, kind of. All right, departing 13. We'll wander a little, just a little bit, cause it is late. So yes, we'll wander so that I can babble for a little bit, and then we'll land again and be off. How do I switch this? I know how. I do it all the time. We will wander. Ooh, that looks cool. Or over that way. We'll just take off straight out because that makes it easier. Wow. Sorry, pressed buttons. Bedford traffic, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1, departing 13 straight out, Bedford. All right, trim for takeoff and all the things. Green. Airspeed is alive. It's alive. It's alive. I just had a thing, like things that you can say in aviation. Well, I guess this should be like more of an October, Spooktober thing. But things you can say in aviation that you can also say in horror films or horror stories. It's alive. Did you just hear that sound at the door? Sorry. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. And yeah, so that's correct. Excellent. Yay. CFI is certified flight instructor. Yes, CFI is certified flight instructor instrument. Oh, yes. Sorry. Okay. Yes, I am. I am currently working on my double I. That was perfectly normal, and I should have understood that, but I didn't. I'm sorry. Yes, I get it now. I am working on my instrument instructor stuff. But again, still, this is not instrument instruction. I am not an instrument instructor. And even though I am a CFI in real life, I do not instruct. This is not instruction. So, yes. Saw the title, thought I might be training since I'm flying the right seat. Yes. So, I did. I got my CFI almost coming up on 2 months ago. I've been instructing a little bit, and did I hear a sound? Was that just me? I'm concerned. And yes, you were right on, and I was absolutely not. So I apologize. It's a little bit late. So this is what you get. Oh, we're just gonna stay here. I feel like I'm hearing sounds, and I can't tell from where they are coming. That can also be in a horror story, I guess. Just agree with you? Okay, what am I agreeing with you about? How and where is that coming from? I'm so concerned. Are you guys hearing that as well? It doesn't sound like it's coming from my headset for some reason. Oh God, I just about said a word that ladies can't say, but I didn't say it. Thus the distinction. Yay! All right, so we shall have ourselves a little wander. I don't have too many stories today. I'll try to be not too long-winded. But I'll quick do chat first. Usually there is some sort of other sneaky reg, but they'll reference it in 61.133 if there is one. Okay. Yes, okay. Okay. So are you really doing both CFI, double I, and possibly MEI all in 1 year is the goal? Nice. Okay. So so you're currently working on your CFI then? And then are you doing like an accelerated program, or is that just like your general goal? It's you. Okay, I can't quite hear it properly, I feel like. Are you coming in this general direction? All right, well, mystery solved. Yay. That makes me happy. Well, actually, we'll go like this for a second. Yay! Oh, God. Hang on. Must get back in the plane in order to right myself. Oops. There, yay. Sorry. Okay, so, I've had a few lessons recently. Was able to do some pattern work, but it got a little bit bumpy, even though it wasn't supposed to, so that was unfortunate. But it was a good learning opportunity. Well, one of my students got a nice, smooth lesson, and that was good because everything went really well. So like all of the points where it's like a beam the threshold, throttle comes back, 1900. Then at this point, make your turns, try to hit these speeds, or aim for these speeds. It all went nice and smooth, and everything went, yeah, I think I talked about that lesson. But then my other student, unfortunately, it was supposed to be super nice, but it got a little bit, nah. But we still worked on it. It was a good experience, and we talked about how, like, it's calm wind is best, and I wish I could give like a calm wind lesson for like being able to base the thoughts and the procedures on it. But still a good learning opportunity. But the one thing is the wind, not only was it bumpy, it was also varying, but like between a direct crosswind and either a headwind or a tailwind for either direction on the runway. So it's like we were trying to take off one runway and it'd be a tailwind, so we taxied to the other one and it would flip again and it'd be a tailwind on the other, and it was like, for the love. But then it was a learning teaching opportunity for like, okay, what things are you going to think about if you're having to take off in a tailwind, even if you're aiming for the headwind and you have a headwind, if it were to all of a sudden swap, what should you be considering? So then that happened and it went fine. And then had a second pattern lesson with other student, and it was again a little bit bumpy, but a little bit, it got a little bit better as that one went on. But we take off at first, and we take off, and again, it's still varying because I did the one lesson after the other, still varying a little bit. So we take off on one runway, and there's somebody else calling, and they're saying they're doing like a 10-mile final on the opposite runway. Okay. So we pop into the downwind. We pop onto the base. And this is something that we talked about where it's like, so I said they're probably on an instrument approach. And so we got onto base and then went into the upwind for the landing traffic. And they ended up, we got onto the upwind. We're watching for them. And they come in and they just do a low approach. And they called that they're just going to do a low approach. And this one student, he's really good at asking questions. So he's like, what did that mean? Low, like that last part that he said, low approach. So they're just going to go low and not actually land. And then there's the other thing where it's like, okay, now we're scanning for this traffic to see when we can actually turn. And usually we're able to turn once we're abeam, once the other traffic passes abeam us. And so we're scoping. I get him in sight, and I make the call, get him in sight, that they're in sight. And he's scoping, he can't find him, and it's like, it's okay, that happens, you'll develop it. And then they do a low approach, and they go off. It's like, all right. So then we talked about it a little bit, and he's like, okay, so why did you think that it was an instrument approach? And I was like, well, because, like, that's... it... I mean, this was kind of, this is why I assumed it was an instrument approach, is because it usually is like not a great move to be doing a straight in when there's people already in the pattern. Usually you go with the flow of the pattern. Not to say people don't do that, but just always being aware, you yourself not expecting other people to do what might be courteous or right. Take care of your own self. But also because they just did a low approach, so I guess that is. Usually my thought is if they're doing a straight in, it's probably because of an instrument approach. And it was like, oh, okay. So that was a learning opportunity. And then we did some pattern work, reviewed it, then had him start doing it again, and then it wasn't as calm as the last time. So had to contend with some wumpiness. But again, it calmed down a little bit to where my first student had his first takeoffs. And I was guarding the controls, but I didn't do anything. I talked him through some things, like just a couple things, like just like a little bit of nose down, and then just like a little bit, bring it up a little bit more. And then, yeah, we're both like on the climb. We're both like sitting there with these big old grins in our faces, both trying to like be focused. I mean, I was absolutely focused. But it was really freaking exciting. And, we talked about it afterward, and he said that too. He was like, oh, he was trying not to cheese on that climb. And I was like, I know, me too. But but it was also a good learning opportunity too, because we're climbing, but we're not quite climbing at what we should be. And so it's like, you got the throttle in all the way? Like, he's got his hand on the throttle, but it was like, you got the throttle in all the way? Zoop. Nope. Oh my gosh. So it, like, you rest your hand on the throttle, it can... I can't understand you. What? Why? I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. But hello. Oh, hello. Hello. Hi. Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And now I'm flying like... I'm sure you were like nice and right in formation, and I just killed that moment. I'm sorry. But yeah, so like resting your hand on the throttle, even though you got your hand on the throttle, got to make sure that it's in. And then I flew after that to get some hours, and I realized it might have been the friction lock too. So that's something that I can bring up next time. And then yeah, so that was like the big thing, really exciting. Getting that in. Still, I wasn't too nervous about the takeoffs, but again, still not getting too comfortable with it. But I'm still nervous about the landings, especially because it, like, I don't know. Like, how do you know? I don't know. Knowing when to take over and stuff. And I feel like that's something that I need to talk to my instructor about myself too, is I haven't actually fully thought about how I should be doing the landings. I've been talking them through the landings as we've been doing the pattern work. So like getting the procedure in their minds right now, but then like, and letting them follow along. But like, how do you like easing into that? I do. I'm not sure why I can't understand what I can't understand. There's like not okay. My VATSIM to hear things is not attached to some other speaker, is it? Is there a way I can check that? I don't know what you said. Audio. Microphone, output device, headset, earphone. I'm sorry. I don't know. Oh, jeez. I thought I clicked out of it. I'm sorry. Oh, we're hovering over the airport again. But yeah, so one of the things is just do it like everything else, where it's like I talk them through it and then have them talk me through it, and then if they miss anything talking me through it, then I add that in there, and then once that gets good, then having them do it while I talk them through it, as well as guard the control. But yeah, that's like the next mic check. Are you saying mic check? I think you said mic check, but it still sounds the same. I'm sorry. But yes. Yeah, that's like the next big hurdle sort of a thing. The first one was, that might have been a little bit better, I'm not sure. Tough to tell without remoting in to see my settings. My audio, oh god, sorry. Output was my headphones, so it might It might be on your end. So yeah, but no, like, the power on stalls to the full brake was the first sort of like, well, not the first major hurdle, but like the first thing that I was like proper nervous about. And we got through that with minimal spin awareness necessitated, but that was a good experience as well. So I'm sure there will be experiences with the landings and even the takeoffs. But yeah, it's just keeping at it, just doing the things. Then I did my own sort of like getting hours flight. Went to an airport I hadn't been to before, checked out the FBO there, started wandering to another airport that I hadn't been to, but then the fuel gauges on the 150 that I fly are not they indicate more of an indirect level. They indirectly indicate the level of fuel. But I filled up entirely before I went and calculated the time and everything. But I started getting a little bit nervous, so I ended up turning back to the airport and just doing a couple of landings. And when I went to fill up again, I had like half in each tank. So I was like, well, what was that issue? I totally could have gone and not had an issue with that, but did that. Plane quirks. And then yes, the other thing I mentioned earlier was at some point I will be getting checked out for another airport's a club for their Archer and potentially a Tomahawk. So that'll be interesting, and that'll get me hopefully low wing time so that I'm a bit better about that, because that's another thing where I'm not super experienced with, but would like to be. And then the other thing I mentioned too, I think, I don't know if, yeah, I did talk about one of the instructors who I was talking about the multi-engine stuff with. The reason I was talking about the multi-engine stuff with him was because he had in his job met a person who had flown out of this other airport and knew that they needed some pilots. So he had given the person who I know the information for this other guy, and I was supposed to call that person. And so I called him, and he got back to me. Yes. And it was the person I know was under the impression that it was going to be a low-hour pilot gig, where they were going to have some single engine or single pilot opportunities. But they're apparently, what it ended up is they had some single pilot aircraft and then a King Air. And so they're actually looking at getting rid of one of their single pilot aircraft, and then potentially looking at getting rid of the other one that they have in order to get like a TBM or something. So the gig would actually be for the King Air. Hello! The gig would be for the King Air, so I need my multi, as well as the guy's he's not actually like allowed. They haven't allowed him to actually hire anybody. So plus with the King Air, they're probably looking at not less than 1,000 hours. I'm coming up on 500 hours. So they're probably looking at 12 to 1,500 hour range. And it's like, oh, okay. So he's like, yeah, go ahead and check back in 3 to 6 months. And I'm like, okay, like it could be interesting, could be fun. But like by that point, I probably just want to keep doing what I'm doing, because I might have to move too. So I don't know. So that's why that instructor and I were talking about multi-engine time. And he said, and again, yeah, he said that he is an MEI. He used to do 3-day courses in a 310 and a Apache, and his favorites were the 310, and like we could do it in the Baron that he has, or that's at the airport, but it would be pretty expensive because it's like all of the bells and whistles sort of a thing. So yeah, I don't know. I have certain opportunities where I could do it. I was oh god, sorry, I started speeding up, and so that wrecked your formation calculations. I'm sorry. Ah! Ah! By a nose. Sorry. Ah! Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. I've just been completely babbling. It's not audible from the stream, though. So you're not... I almost feel like it's coming through my speakers. So that's not good. It worked just fine last time. Working out all the lesson plans, PowerPoints, and writtens, including AGI and IGI. Nice. Doing the ground stuff on your own, then flying with an instructor once getting close to the check rides. Have been flying from the right for some time and can fly from both sides equally as well. Nice. Hoping to take all 3 check rides with a month in between each. That is ambitious. And I salute you. That is definitely not like my personality. I flew with my instructor just the same as I did like any other certificate or rating, but that is I hope that works out for you. It sounds like you got everything all locked in, so that should be good. Still got to get your spin endorsement soon. Do it. It's so much fun. So much friggin' fun. Make sure you have somebody who actually likes doing spins, though. I first did it with not an instructor, just somebody who's a really good pilot and does spins just like kind of for fun. And then I had to get like signed off with my instructor who doesn't like doing spins. But I made him, and that was nice of him to do. So what an experience to be a part of. I assume the takeoffs thing. Yes, it like that. That is. I didn't think that I would like instructing like way back when I started the training. I started getting that sort of, you know what, maybe I would. Like that's the stuff that I like. I love being a part of seeing that progress and helping other people get through their aviation journey and seeing those milestones, and it's so exciting. I still wish that I was better at it, but like that comes with time, as well as continuing my own training and research and stuff and making sure that I'm keeping up with that. So yeah. How come we don't hear VATSIM on stream? So could you guys not hear that? Because I did hear you. I could not hear it properly. I just hasn't piped it into a source that is broadcasting. I've never had an issue with VATSIM coming through. So I don't know what happened. I don't know. Can confirm. I can be difficult to follow sometimes. I know. Yes. Oh, are you? I thought you meant like verbally and mentally. But yes. You know how it is with me and formation flying. You do hear it a little in the background, but it's not audible. I think it's coming from my speakers, and I don't freaking know why. I'm sorry. Can you? So. Can we quick swap to a different frequency that's not around here? And like test it a little? If I need help with settings, but I haven't changed anything. I thought I had it set properly. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's not clear, right? Oh, shoot. Oh, my God. You know what? One thing, though. Sorry, something completely different. VFR, we're not IFR anymore. We would have canceled on the ground. Yep. Check your checklists, kids. Yeah, so that's, yeah. I'm currently working on my double I, or that was the plan. And then my plan was to kind of, yeah, maybe save up a little bit of money and then go get my multi. But again, I do have the opportunity to fly along on some barren trips and get hours. Or I guess fly some barren trips and get paid for them to not only get hours, but I'd get paid for it. So that might be, yeah, I don't know. So that's where I'm kind of at right now. Yeah. So yeah, all right. And we're still like within. Let's take a look-see, shall we? Direct to. We are 2 miles out. Okay, so, where are we landing? 1-3. So, we could definitely teardrop to enter the left downwind. Yeah, let's do that. We're 2 miles east. 2 miles east at 3,200 descending. Bedford. Bedford traffic, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1. 2 miles east at 3,100 descending. We'll do a teardrop entry for the left downwind 1-3. Bedford. OBS has had a bad habit of settings being changed somehow, even if I didn't touch anything. See, but, okay, everything else is coming through my headset, though, right? Because it's just my desktop stuff. It's just my desktop audio. So that's why I'm like, I don't know why VATSIM would be completely separate like that. You don't hear me on the radios? I'm transmitting. Are my plugins plugged in? Oh God, I don't know. Are you on 122.8? What is the deal? Oh God. Sounds good. You'll help me go through it. But oh God. See, that scares me because like if I don't like having to go through settings. I don't like having too many settings that I need to go through. Like, are the headphones? They should be, because I hear you. Well, so you guys can hear me, and I can hear like. Don't panic. Well, the reason I'm panicking is because it seems like such a strange thing to have just the one thing be not what. Oh, hang on. Not what it's supposed to be. All right. Sorry. I will stop panicking while we're trying to land here. Welcome to streaming. But I can't. But I have been doing this for, oh God, at least 3 years. I think it's more than that. I remember definitely having issues at the beginning, but then I thought I worked them out. But okay. See, and that's why I get nervous too about the VATSIM, because it's like, oh, see, if we would have had VATSIM, is that it over there? To be honest, I'm not sure. promise I fly better than an actual plane. Ah. I can restart VATSIM and see. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, because I got the little beeps in through my headphones, and it says that I'm transmitting. Okay, so I have a question. Like, are you on 122.8? Can you just like double check that? I'm not saying you wouldn't be, but also like just in case. Like, it's not like, are you on like 122.85 or something? I'm really hoping it's a your end thing. All right. Bedford. 122.8. Gosh darn it. Okay, fine. Bedford traffic. Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1. Left downwind 13. Bedford. Did you hear me? What's the IKO? BFR. Biannual flight review. Kilo Bravo Foxtrot Romeo. All right, so we are on that downwind. We want that runway about halfway up the strut. We are about half to 1 mile from our runway. Beam that threshold. Power comes out. I think. Okay, fine, 1900. Carb heat comes out. Within that white arc. First notch of flap. We're gonna get on the ground. We're gonna get on the ground. I swear that that's coming from my speaker. Second notch of. That's not the correct one. Oh, that's not the correct one either. Scanning final for any traffic. Oh god, we're a little bit high, so we're gonna power for altitude, but we're also gonna pitch for airspeed, since apparently we're a little bit slow. Bedford traffic, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1, final 13, Bedford. I think that that's on my speaker. I will. I'll look at my VATSIM settings again. Maybe I missed something. Can you hear me key up? On my speaker. Wait, you can hear me now? IKO again. Kilo Bravo Foxtrot Romeo. I keep calling it biannual flight review. But it is Bedford. Alright. High speed taxi, enough to get off the freaking runway, but also not enough to take off. Why is this runway so freaking long? Without a taxiway. So I could technically say Backtaxi. Oh god, we're coming up on it. 3-1, correct? Okay, so that is a crossing runway. So we're gonna Backtaxi. Oh wait, hang on. I just heard that. I'm sorry. I held short though. I held short. I heard you say runway 24. And I had just looked to be like, oh yeah, we're going to taxi on runway 24. So hi. Sorry to have made you go around. But this is why we always visually clear where we are entering. So I am going to If that is all right, I'm going to back taxi on 2-4 to get over to our holding area. Oh, hello! Hello! You're both a helicopter and a multi-engine. Unless... Did two of you just pop in at the same time? It is! It's coming through my speaker! Look at, why? Oh, sorry. You know what? We're on taxiway golf for grass. Bedford traffic, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1, clear of all runways. Bedford. The FAA hates this one simple hack. Sorry. Oh, that's because you're on multiplayer and VATSIM. Okay. Yes. I should have thought of that. Makes sense. Okay, I will check my VATSIM quick. Huh. Fonts. Audio. Headset, earphone. Microphone is my microphone. Outset is my headset. Effects disabled. Just check the output. I did. It's for my... It's for these things. Unplug my headset, then...
Bedford traffic, this is Rogue Niner with a radio check over.
5x5. So, it was on my headset, so I just left it on my headset and I clicked apply.
It's a Heidi. It's Heidi logical.
Hello?
Wait, so is it me who's not audible?
It was not your issue. It was a me issue for some reason. I don't know why it was. All I had to do was click apply, I guess, because it decided to not be applied. But I'm sorry. I am glad that we got that figured out, I guess. Technology, man. Oi. But, well, we'll keep that in mind for next time. Thank you guys for your patience. I'm sorry. Something just messed up. But, I mean, it's fixed now, though. For whatever reason. For whatever reason, it was wrong, and for whatever reason, it is now right. Gosh. Oops, darn it. Hello? Hi. It's a buddy thing. It's a gaggle of buddy. No, it's a flock of buddies. I don't know. I feel like it should be a boisterous. It's a boisterous of buddies. New group word just dropped. Yay! That's so frickin' funny that it's two different aircraft. It looks like you're slinkying with the multi. Well, I'll shut down quick. We'll do that. So we did the thing. Did that. Okay. Why are my nav lights off? I don't think I had those off, but okay. Electronics. Ooh, you know what I just realized? My flow for shutdown is the same as my beginning flow for starting the pre-flight. So it's electronics first. So it's all those electronics. And then it's the liquid. So our throttle and our mixture. And then it's the rest of the flow. So mags, oops, and master. And it didn't count it for my logbook. Oh, well. So, hey, I kind of like that. It's like bookends. It's the elf on the shelf. Oh, no! My chat went wonky again, so I can't see anything. It's telling me to activate chat. Are you all still here? Are we live? You do be existing. Okay, thank you. For the love. Lots of technical difficulties today. I apologize and appreciate y'all putting up with me. So, hello. Oh my god, look how cute we are. Look at how cute we are. Ugh. Again, a boisterous of buddies. For we are very boisterous. Why hath yon propeller or rotor stoppeth spinningeth? We have just been a figment of my imagination this whole time. I knew it! You're all so real. Oh, hello. Oh, is it just spinning that fast, or is that what it's supposed to be indicating? Well, we're gonna quick pop into LittleNavMap. I think because I shut down, that disconnected from VATSIM, correct? Or do I need to disconnect from VATSIM? It says I need to disconnect from VATSIM, but we just won't press the button. I guess I'll keep this on. I'll keep this on for now. All right, LittleNavMap. We'll check it out, see how we did. We still got that IFR spaghetti. Again, I promise I can actually fly a straight line in an actual plane. So we flight planned to the VOR for a straight-in VOR approach. One of the things I did want to bring up that I didn't quite look at, but probably should have been something that I did look at. So here. There. So it did kind of take me by surprise, but it shouldn't have. So it wasn't. It's still a straight in because it's VOR, or it's still for a specific runway, so it is like a straight in VOR 13, but it is like offset. It's not like a straight in. But it's, yeah, we're not flying directly parallel to the runway in order to just touch down like that. We had to kind of curve over a little bit. So, making sure, should have thought about that. Our heading was 159er and our runway was 13. But yeah, that was just something to look at and think about. Not that one. So we did. We flight planned, and then we talked about Perryllel the Holdapus, because he is now a fixture of the stream. Hello. Something stopped. So we did. We did all of our stuff. We pre-flighted, and then we took off. Went all the way down our taxiway, did a little run up, and then we took off, did our right hand downwind to intercept our cleared course, since it was direct from the airport. And then we got our cleared direct to the VOR. So then we just booped our little VOR so that we would be direct to the VOR. And then we followed that kind of to the VOR. at which point we just did a little adjustment on our VOR to get our straight in 213, which was a little bit, might have been a little bit sketchy, but we landed. Then we backtaxied, we took off again, and we just wandered around. So what does it look like today? It looks like a toe. Oh God. Or it looks like ballet slippers somehow. Or like minimalism Snoopy. I'm not quite sure. The main thing I can see is the toe, and it's just freaking me out a little bit. It's like that could also be a toe. And now I've just thought of dead man's toes. Dead man's toes. And we're apparently in Spooktober now, this stream. So yes, then we came back and we did our teardrop and came back in for our downwind, and we turned and we landed. We had some technical schmechnical difficulties, and then we took a shortcut and we parked in a non-parking spot. But we did so. Oops. Oh gosh, I pressed the wrong button. We did so with our boisterous buddies. So yes, that was fun. So I'm gonna pop out then. So hello, thank you for flying along with, and wherever you are as well. So yes, we'll pop out, and then we'll go do the raid thing. I forgot how this works. Escape. Main menu. Continue. Oh my goodness! Hang on! My chat is not working again. Gosh darn it. You're just that good. You don't need no RPMs. All right, fair. I need to with the big toe. I know, it does. It did. It looked like, that's just strange, though. Looks like someone made spaghetti. We absolutely did. Abso-freaking-lutely made some IFR spaghetti. I love me some spaghetti. IFR spaghetti less so, but spaghetti is chef's kiss. Bye! Shall we go see the Down Under controller? We can, absolutely. Are they still on, or did I babble long enough before they had to get off? You have some time and you'll help me go through my settings. Okay. But it worries me going through my settings. But okay. I will try something new. I'm gonna put this down, but then I'm gonna have to take it back up again to. Actually, I won't, because we're going to. We know where we're going, I guess, right? Oh, okay. All right. Oof. Still got Perryllel up. Should we take one more final look at Perryllel so that y'all have nightmares for the evening? I mean, what Perryllel the Holdapus? Bam! Shoot, he was already up. I'm sorry. I tried to do that funny. Didn't work. Sorry. Yes, there. That is the image that you get to leave off with. Perryllel. Trezzy, you spent literally 2,000 hours with complex stream setups. Okay. But that's the thing, is I don't want a complex stream. I want it to be easy. That's why I don't change anything ever. But okay, we'll try it. Okay, so if I go like this, if I open a new window, that still is going to show Perryllel and not this. Okay, good. Oh wait, if I go this way, that's off. This goes here, goes there. All right, so we'll go over the things. So, whoever got lost and found their way here or found their way back, thanks for being here. I appreciate. And for some reason decided to stick. I'm kidding. But yes, there were some technical difficulties. I am a strange person. Plus it is late, so that just compounds the strangeness. So I appreciate you guys. I have a lot of fun doing this, and I appreciate that you guys appreciate it and have fun yourselves. So, thanks for flying along. As well as Mustafa, thank you for the raid. Check out Mustafa if you haven't checked out Mustafa. Check out Charlie Foxtrot if you haven't checked out Charlie Foxtrot. He'll be streaming tomorrow. And yeah, thank you for the follows. Thanks for sticking around. And yes. So again, yes, if you've been looking there, okay, I am set. All right, perfect. If you've been around the stream recently, you know that my schedule is not my own at the moment. But for anybody new, we usually fly on Tuesdays. However, since I have started instructing, it's kind of been I schedule lessons when I can for my students, as well as to get my own hours in. And then based on that, then we decide when, then I have to figure out when we can stream. So I try to do it as early in the week as possible, just in case I'm not able to later in the week. But this week, it happened that everything worked out for in real life stuff at the beginning of the week. So that's why it is currently Thursday, isn't it? Yes. So that's why that is. I apologize that I can't have a proper schedule right now, because we're supposed to be doing reading on Thursdays, working through our Sherlock Holmes. That's on hold for a bit again, as well as doing other games on Sundays. That is also on hold. So right now we're just doing the flight sim stuff, working on instrument stuff to keep working on my own abilities, as well as get me to that point of the double I. So again, still not instruction, but it's study buddy session. And I appreciate you guys allowing me to do that as well. So yeah, that's how the things are. So I hope that this works. I'm gonna throw my Discord up there, because that's when I say we'll plan for Tuesdays, and then it's like I would not prefer, but it's like it's likely to do Sunday, so that we make sure that we actually get it in. But we'll plan for Tuesdays, but I will let you know. It's not my chat isn't going to Twitch. So I guess I'll do another one over here, and hopefully it works. There. Does that work? Perfect. Okay. So there's that. I will let you know. Well, that could be part of my problem. I had one of my things what's the word? I was monitoring one of my YouTube stream when I wasn't supposed to be. Sorry. Maybe that was an issue. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. There it is. I will let you know on Discord when we'll be streaming next week. So yeah, there's that. I'm sorry. It did. It went through. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know what the technical schmechnical things are going on, but we're through it now. I appreciate you guys so much for bearing with me with all that. And by way of thanks, I leave you with the nightmare that is Perryllel the Holdapus. So yes, again, we're gonna send you off to a raid, so I'll get this all ready. So have fun in the raid. I will be going to bed because I need it, clearly. If I've forgotten anything, I apologize. Brain is mush. So I didn't mean to. But yeah, it's tis what tis, and it's very late. So apologies, appreciate you, and yeah, until next time, just Just spam hi. Is it Ben or is it Bean? I like Bean. When you get over there. So yes, do that stuff. Have a great time. Spread the love. And yeah, all the good things. Have a great whatever it's gonna be for you. Hope to see you again soon. Until next time. Yeah, all the good things. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. And then yes, all the good things. So thank you so much, and bye. Bye.